Hello, 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 and welcome to the channel. Okay, you know what? I was thinking I've got all these greens to pick, and not everybody knows how to do that. Now, some people will use a knife, and Mom always said when you do that, then it has a tendency to let it brown. So, the way I do it, thank you, is I just pull the leaf away from the stem and I wash them in cold water. Y'all don't use detergent, but let me tell you a quick story. One day my dad had told my cousin to wash the greens, and she did. She put some Tide in the water. She put some Tide in the water and she washed the greens. So anyway, these right here are collards, and I have some mustard over there as well as some turnip, and I always like mixing them up. So I just want to take a minute and just to show you guys how to what I call pick your greens. This is what they call picking your greens. Now every bundle is or every green is different. So these right here are turnip greens. So as you see, they're of wider leaf. And the way you're going to remove them from the stem is the same way. You're just going to tear it away from the stem. And then I've got, which ones are these? These are mustard. So then I've got some mustard here. So I have a trifecta of the greens I'm going to be using. Let me pick these greens. Again, I wash them in cold water here. I look at the bottom of, once I wash them, I move them over to the other side of the sink to rinse them again. And how often I wash them is going to be just going to depend on what I see in the bottom of my sink once I've rinsed them, however many times I need to rinse them. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. You just pull all that away from the stem. Now, if you cook them long enough, that little bit of stem that's on there will tender. It'll get tender for you. You just don't want these great big old thick, because that's never going to get tender unless you cook it a very, very long time. All right, so next we've got the turnips here. Yeah, those were the collards. These are the turnips. So just so you can see the difference in what the leaves look like. Now, back in the old days when I was a kid, it was really important that you looked at the back of the leaf, of the green leaf as well. And that's because, back in the day we were like going out and picking them, right? So you would have different type of little bugs that would be on there. So that's where you get a lot of old folks like me that clean our food a lot and clean it well, because we were in the country and I just made sure your food was good and clean. Okay. All right. Now over in my pot, I have my water seasoning. So what I did was, I'm never in a rush when I'm cooking greens. So I've got my water over there that has some smoked neck bones in it, in addition to salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, just to give it a teeny bit of a kick. Now, I'm making these greens for me, and my daughter is vegan, so I'll be making her greens. So right now, for vegan greens, Of course, I'm not using any meat, and I'm just seasoning them really well with salt, pepper, whatever it is I have up there that will season them. Another thing, you can always pretty much tell what your greens will taste like when you just take a bit of the pot liquor, or better yet, the water. So that's how I know what my greens will taste like. After they've been cooking for a while, you know, I'll dip a spoon in the water and just taste the water. And if the water tastes good, you know, the water is well seasoned, then I know my greens are going to be good too. So for the holidays, greens have always been a staple on our family menu, but I'll eat greens all throughout the year. I mean, they've got a lot of good stuff in them for you. They really do. So my pot of greens is going to consist of, I have two bunches, two bunches of each, and I think I have like an extra bunch of turnips. Uh-oh, throwing stuff in the wrong place. An extra bunch of turnips. So what you have to remember is, even though that sounds like a bunch, they cook down. So that's something to always keep in mind when it comes to cooking greens, is that they do cook down. So it may look like a lot when you put it in the pot, but yeah, they're going to cook down quite a bit. So it's just I might just fast forward through this, because I'm going to pick the rest of these greens, and I'll put them in the pot slowly. I'll show you my pot in just a minute. So let me get the rest of these greens picked. Now, again, I'm just tearing it off. It's nothing nice about it. In my personal opinion, I think when people are using knives to cut the greens, I don't know, I think it does something to them. I don't know. So I go through the old-fashioned thing of just stripping it away. Strip it away. See, this right here, it's not too thick, so it'll cook down tender if you left it in there. The main thing you want to do or remember about cooking your greens is that, now, I mean, it's almost like pasta. Some people don't like to cook them. Okay, so here's one of those greens that's kind of dirty. See that? So that's one of the reasons you always want to make sure that you wash your food. You wash these greens. And yes, I do wash my chicken as well. I don't care what you say. I don't care what nobody says. I don't wash it to where the water splatters everywhere. That's the problem that a lot of people have, is worrying about the water, the chicken water splashing everywhere. Well, first of all, don't turn the water on full blast. I mean, I don't see the problem. Okay, so that was what? What was that? I think that was 3 bunches. 1, 2, yeah, so that was 3 bunches. I have 4 more bunches to do, and then we'll get over on the stove. Okay, so now I have all the greens picked. I have them in the sink here, and I'll start with one rinse here, then I'll move them to the other side of the sink, and I'll do that back and forth until my water is clear. So I'll show you what the water looks like after I finish the first rinse. Okay, so when I say wash my greens, I've got them in water, just plain water, nothing else. That's it. And you can see that the water This is pretty clean. So this is about, what, 7 bunches of greens right here. So to wash, I just kind of go in, I swish them around. I lift them from one side to the other. These greens are pretty clean, but I'll still give them a second wash. Yep, I can see the dirt in that water now. There's a lot of green. Okay. We're gonna move them over here to the other sink. And as I do this, what I'll do is I pick them up and I just kind of look at them, make sure there's nothing on the leaves. Pretty clean, not too bad. Still needs to be rinsed another time, right? So I put them over here in the colander. I kind of have to squish into my colander. My colander not so big. It has the whole 7 bunches of greens. I'm grabbing a bowl. Will help. As soon as I get done here, you guys can probably see what the water looks like. That's our first wash. I'm gonna empty my dish, I'm gonna empty the sink, and start again. I'll be back just to show you what the water looks like on the second, and if there's a third one, I'll let you see that too. All right, so my second time I wash them, I am going to have my water running. And I have my drain thing in the sink here, but not to where it's gonna, hold the water. But I've got it to where, so I've got it to where it's tilted, where the water can run out, but it lets me rinse the greens, okay? Hey, baby, how are you? Huh? Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, and that's the water after. Can y'all see that okay? That's the water after the second wash. So there's no dirt in the bottom of the sink. All it is the color of the green and clean water. So those are good clean greens. Now, it's time to put them in the pot. All right, so this is my green pot. It has smoked neck bones, and I've seasoned it with salt, pepper, cayenne pepper. I just put some onions in there. And this has been, I've kind of had this cooking for a little while. So now I'm put the onions in there and I'm ready to put my greens in. All right, so these are my greens. They're not completely cooked. I'm pre-cooking these for Thanksgiving. But this is where I have them so far. They are tenderized, but they still need to tender a little bit more. So those are greens, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that will help you cook greens if that's something that you want to do. They're very nutritious, you know, even with the neck bones in there. All right, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.